It's not easy to sum up how you feel about somebody in a short video, and Lisa is no exception.
Words that pop into my head.
Friend.
Incredible writer, and she was an incredible person.
The class, the grace.
Had a unique charisma and were incredibly intelligent.
She's an insanely talented person, insanely creative, very passionate, very involved.
Very insightful and thoughtful, and just willing to help whatever she could do physically, she would help do it,
Kind-hearted. She's a super bright light.
She was a huge supporter of the Prairie Lights Film Festival. She would come out every single year, and in some cases it was kind of tough for her to come out, to Grand Island for multiple days, but she would do it anyway. She was just a huge supporter of the local film scene.
You've done so much for this community and helped us all, and just being there, just your presence and your aura is so calming, and it's so nice to see you that I just always remember having a huge smile on my face when I would see her.
I love Lisa. Lisa worked on one of the biggest films, I guess, that I ever worked on and wrote. That movie was Remission. She reached out and said, hey, I heard you're doing this thing. Can I read it? And she said, I'm a writer. She gave us really great feedback. And not only did she give great feedback, she did another draft of it just out of the kindness of her heart. And that's kind of been my overall experience with Lisa just as a person.
She was always at numerous film-related events.
Right, yeah, and on film sets and, read-throughs and things like that. Prairie Lights Film Festival, you could always count on seeing Lisa there. No matter how she felt, if she felt good or if she didn't feel great, she still made an effort to come and support all of us, and we just love her for doing that.
As sort of the director of the Prairie Lights Film Festival, it was so great to see somebody with so much passion, someone who wanted to network with other writers and other creators. And a lot of the things we put together at Prairie Lights, like the script banks that we would give out to different directors, Lisa was always there. She always had a script for the script bank. She would always try to assist writers, assist directors when they had questions, comments, concerns, just general feedback. She was always there for that. I kid you not, it would be 3:30 in the morning. I would assume Lisa was sound asleep, and I would just send a message like, hey, I'd like to chat about this with you at some point in the future. And then boom, 5 minutes later, it's a response. Let's do it now. She was just that kind of person, instant feedback all the time.
We've collaborated on a few things together for Dead Lantern, and I have to say that's been my privilege and my honor to do so. As a fellow creative, it's always a wonder to me that, the little pieces of art we put out in the world create these small ripples, and we'll never know what magnificent tidal waves they create in the future. And, that's one of the wonders of being an artist of any kind, I believe. And it's really been my pleasure to have collaborated with you. I always feel the people who I collaborate with become a part of me. Their art and my art combine, and that creates something beautiful in this world. And that's something I'm proud of, and I hope you are too.
All of those memories we've created together were something that I will remember forever. And your writing and your work with Dead Lantern has been something that Matt and I know both will treasure always.
And just a fierce personality, just an incredible person to know. And Lisa, we've only been able to collaborate on one project. We at Midnight Fright shot your film, your script Ghost Hunters, and looking back in the years that I've been a filmmaker, and Ghost Hunters is still one of the best films that Midnight Frights has ever done. And I'm not saying that just to blow smoke. I truly mean that. It's one of the strongest pieces we've ever created. And as a writer, both you and I know that if you don't have a firm foundation, which is the script that you wrote, you don't have a good movie, or at least the basis of jumping off on a good movie. And it's still one of my favorite films that we've ever worked on. I enjoyed the entire collaboration piece with you. I feel like I learned an incredible amount from you just as a writer, and it's been one of my favorite memories of filmmaking for me.
Besides my mom, has been one of my biggest fans. For whatever reason, she has always expressed to me how much and how she felt that I was going to, always go far, and how much she's expressed to me, like how much my friendship has meant to her. I don't know, it's just been a connection.
Lisa, she loves to see her words, and your words really come to life.
Who are you, and what your thoughts
I'm
on
Lisa.
it? Lisa.
And I reworked part of the script
Okay.
in 5 days.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on day one of Remission? You excited?
It's going to be cold, but I'm excited. So let's bring the words on the page to life.
So her on-set experiences are, you can look and you can watch Lisa during a take, or just even during a downtime. She's laughing and having a great time with cast members and crew. But if you watch her during a take, she lights up. She loves to see her words come to life, and she loves to watch actors act, and she loves to watch directors and filmmakers put her stories together on film.
I mean, she's always been such a great support and like the biggest fan and best friend that I could ever ask for, both on and off set. She's just amazing.
Right? And always a kind word for everybody. The biggest part of Lisa Kovanda for me is when she reached out for me to direct Skeleton Dance. And I was just coming off of, I think, just 2 films. And I didn't have a ton of experience under my belt. And we had just done In Plain Sight, I believe. And when she came to me, I think I said I wanted to think about it because I wasn't really sure if I was the right person to direct a film like that. Film was written by Nanette Day, and then Lisa had written the screenplay. She'd adapted the story for us to shoot. And I was so appreciative that she asked, because it was just a chance to make a film with all of my friends. Everybody that I was in a family group of filmmakers. Of course, you were there as an actress and co-producer / whatever anybody needed.
Stage mom, pretty much.
Right.
It was a good time. It was a great time all around. Like, everyone got to work together on such an emotional project, and to see it come to life and to see the end result, it was such a wonderful project.
I worked with Lisa quite a few years back. I was the main actress in one of her short films that she wrote, The Last Breath. And I remember looking at the script, and I could just feel the emotion that she had written into it, and I knew that I just wanted to be a part of it, and I really wanted to show like that side of me as an actress, but I also wanted to bring that to the screen for her. And so when I met her, I just remember discussing the script and just how passionate she was about what she had written. She had actually wrote it about a friend's daughter, I believe. And so I just immediately connected with her and wanted to bring that emotion for her and just pay tribute to her friend, and then just the incredible writing that she did for that script. And that kind of just started a friendship between us. I also deal with some health issues, and she was always there for me, and she would always check up on me, and we would just kind of support each other in that way, just discussing things back and forth, what we were trying, but just kind of being there for each other, and just trying to help each other on the journey.
Also, I had written, and a lot of people don't know this because I mostly had just made short films, but before I even made my first short film that had no dialogue and had no camera movement or anything, I actually wrote a screenplay.
I forgot you did that.
Yeah, I actually wrote a screenplay. It was called WTF. And it was so off the wall, ridiculous, and it just broke every rule of everything that it probably should have got a triple X rating if it ever were to get made. But I reached out to Lisa. Lisa and I I don't know that we really knew each other that well at the time. Can't remember if it was before or after Skeleton Dance. It feels like it was before that. And here I give her this script that is just the most potty mouth, fart joke, everything that was my 12-year-old brain that I could put into a film. And she loved it. And from the minute she got it and she made some changes, and there's so much red ink on the original copy if you were to ever see it from her notes, she encouraged me from the day she read it until I think even 2 months ago. I would have gotten a message from her that it needs to be made. And I would love to make it, but I think I'd have to edit it and change it so much. But the fact that she believed in me for all of these years and has continued to push for me to get this film made has meant a lot to me. And I reached out to her and told her thank you so much for believing in me.
And she always, even if she didn't work on a film or write a particular film, she always had feedback of her films that she saw at Prairie Lights. She'd go, I just saw this amazing film. Did you watch this one? Did you see that one? I can't wait to see that one. She was so excited to be around filmmakers and writers and share her ideas. And even if you didn't ask for her opinion, she was always willing to give it to you.
The second film I got to work with her on was The Devil's Corkscrew. And this was sort of a passion project of mine. I'd always wanted to make a Western. Very difficult to make a feature-length Western on, no budget. And I worked really heavily with Lisa on the ideas that I wanted. I kind of had a story in mind, the setup, and her and I got together and we went through, I don't know how many drafts of that together. And that was the one thing about Lisa. I'd always sort of tease her. I was like, Lisa, I know you're going to write an awesome draft for it, and then I'm going to change everything because that's just how I am. I change everything. I want, things to be the way I need them to be. And Lisa never complained. She's like, I understand how you are. We're going to just keep doing drafts over and over and over until we get it to where you are comfortable to film. And we got there with The Devil's Corkscrew, and one of the nice things about that shooting experience was, even though it was miserable in terms of the conditions, it was just scorchingly hot. The sun was beating down on us, mosquitoes everywhere. We were just out in a field in the middle of nowhere, like knee-high grasses, things of that nature. Lisa showed up, and she always did. Every set I was ever on that Lisa was involved with, she was there. She was not somebody who would just write a script and send it on its way and sit back and wait for the results. She wanted to be there. She showed up on set. She loved the process. She loved watching how the things were being made. And it was invaluable as a filmmaker to have her on set, and you have a question like, oh gosh, should I do this? Should I change this line here? Because when you're on set, spontaneity is a thing. Things happen. You come up with new ideas on set that weren't necessarily in the page. It was always great that she was there, and you could immediately go to the screenwriter and say, what do you think about this idea? Is this going to change the character too much? Do you have any problems, issues with that? And Lisa either would always say, absolutely, do it, roll with it. Or if she did have an issue with something, she was not afraid to speak up and say it.
Yeah, I guess the best thing that could be said is thank you. Truly, thank you for sharing your gifts and your talents and your passions for writing and filmmaking. You light up a room when you're around your filmmaking community, and I think I saw that the opening night that we did Flatwater Film Festival, when you and I got a chance to chat a little bit after, and just your passion for films and your passion for the creative process is inspiring, and it's infectious, and it just, there's nothing more that can be said, but thank you, truly, thank you.
You mean a lot to us, and I just wanted to make sure and let you know. Thanks for all your help over the years, and thanks for just being a part of the team.
Lisa, we have had so much fun over the years running the Nebraska Writers Guild with some amazing people. We did some incredible things, and even though we had to talk each other off the ledge a few times the first year, it's still the best job I ever had. Our time together at Lou Hunter's Colony is something I wouldn't trade for the world, and I treasure our friendship now and forever. I love you to the moon and back.
It's always a pleasure to be able to sit down with Lisa and talk about movies, talk about life, talk about things. And it wasn't just movies, right? You become a friend. The great thing about micro-budget filmmaking, and the thing that I think is most underrated by everybody in the scene, it's not about the quality of the final product. Of course, everyone wants the film to be amazing and great and something everybody's proud of. That's a given. But filmmaking is hard. It is hard. You have $100 million movies in Hollywood that turn out like garbage. It's not because all of those professionals who know everything about their craft and have been studying it for 20 years are intentionally trying to make something that's not good. It's just hard to make things good. And when they do turn out good, that's an icing on the cake. That's a bonus. The real meat of the Nebraska film scene, and the real reason that I think Lisa was so important to it, was it's not about the movies. It's about the friendships. It's about the memories you make while you're doing it, right? Lisa was not someone who's like, hey, write me a script. Thank you for the script. And then I'd go off and I'd never interact with her again. I'd make the movie and boom, Lisa became your friend. That's why we do this. You know, people ask, why are you doing this if you're not making any money? Why are you doing this if you don't have a budget? And, you know, X, Y, and Z, all these, you know, in my opinion, stupid reasons as to why people question why artists and filmmakers, and especially micro-budget filmmakers, do this, why they put themselves through this grueling gauntlet that is filmmaking, with all of the pressures and the stresses that come along with it. It's because we want to become friends.
So I love Lisa. I've been very lack of a better word, very happy to know her for the last 10 years. This is a struggle because I'm trying not to, I'm not really a crier, but like wells up in my eyes because, you know, I said I love Lisa, and I've loved every experience I've had with Lisa, and I'm not a hugger, but if I could, I'm sending a big hug. So there you go.
And we get a little choked up. Lisa, we love you very, very, very much, and continue the good fight, and continue to help to get help to those who need it. You're doing a great job. So we love you very much.
Yes. Thank you.
Hey Lisa, this is Mary. I will be forever grateful when I found the nerve to come in to the Metal Art Cafe and meet you at that first NaNoWriMo write-in. You have been a staunch supporter of me. You have given me a kick in the butt when I needed it, and a pat on the back when I needed it as well. You are truly the sister of my heart, and I wish for you all good things. I love you to the moon and back.
I really miss our trips to Seward that we had when I asked you a multitude of questions and you always had all the right answers. You will always have a special place in my heart, Lisa.
I just want to say, yeah, thank you, and appreciate all that you've done, and be well and pain-free, and, you know, God love you, my dear.
Nobody I don't think as personally supportive, not, you know, in the career endeavors and my personal endeavors, whatever it may have been. I can't say enough. I honestly don't have the words to express what my emotions are, what my feelings are, other than if I had anything to say to her directly, I would say thank you for the love and support, and I love you too. That's it.